I'm about to meet with Shihan. He's a content creator, but he's also known as the co-founder of the most viral food experience in the DMV right now. It's a food truck called Flavor Hive. I posted a video of that like a few months ago. He told me to meet him at this place called Sabai Sabai Thai. Apparently this is like his favorite food. So today's video is eating and rating wings while interviewing a business owner slash content creator. I'm about to go meet him right now. Sean should be Shihan? I gotta get that figured out because I've known him for way too long to not be pronouncing his name correctly. This is the place. Oh shoot, he's already here. What's going on, bro? I already got the thing rolling. How you doing? Good. Could we please do an order of the wings, an order of the crispy string beans, the spicy catfish, and then fried shrimp. You guys have like different kinds of fried shrimp, right?
We only have one kind, it's the prick glass.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. And then the drunken noodles.
And what protein do we want with the drunken noodles?
You're called.
Honestly, like I usually always go shrimp with the
Shrimp?
drunken noodles.
Let's do shrimp. Got a lot of shrimp today.
Anything else for you guys?
Nope, that's it.
So it's gonna be 85.61.
I got you, bro.
I got it, bro. I got it. Quick with it.
And it should be about 10 to 15 minutes.
Sweet, thank you. So I've known you for a while.
Right.
But I realized I don't think I'm pronouncing your name right.
Okay.
Is it Shihan or
you
Sean?
No, you got it, Shihan.
Okay, I've been saying Sean.
Sean is the Starbucks name, you know, when you go to Starbucks.
Okay.
And you ask.
What people know you as is Chilipeppercooks.
Chilipeppercooks, yeah.
Okay, and that comes from?
So that comes from when I first started TikTok, and I put the Thai chili pepper in all my foods.
Thai chili pepper.
So, yeah, like why? Because I thought you were Thai initially.
Yeah.
My fiance's Thai. She's like, I don't think he's Thai.
Two reasons. So the Thai chili pepper is also called the bird's eye chili. It's the most common chili used in Bangladesh. Number one, it's in all of our foods from breakfast to dinner.
Is it because the proximity to Thailand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my background's in social media, so I kind of have some experience on like how to position yourself.
Right.
So like if you look at Salt Bay, right?
This guy?
Yeah. I mean, do you know his name?
I don't know his real name.
There you go. So I knew going into it, like someone memorizing like Shihan Chaudhary, it was gonna kind of be difficult.
Yeah.
So they needed something to remember me by. So you know that's why I just went with the whole Chilipeppercooks and I kept saying Thai chili pepper so they can always connect me.
You branded it great. I've been trying my hardest to brand the wingman, as I can. Prior to content, you worked for a while, right? So like, what'd you study? What'd you do prior to making content?
I was actually a software test engineer at the Internal Revenue Service.
That's the IRS?
Yeah.
Oh man, okay.
And I worked there for about 7 years. So from age 21 to age 20 to 27, I worked there. But I also had like side businesses while I worked there, and basically I had another partner. We were doing like social media stuff.
So it was just social media agency.
Yeah.
And this was prior to you making videos, or was it?
Yeah, exactly. So I worked with a lot of influencers. I helped with influencers brand themselves. I helped with like just branding in general online. So I had an experience in that space. So when COVID came around, my social media business was doing really well.
Right.
And I would come home and I'll be kind of bored. I'll be like, you know what? I still need to practice my cinematography and photography skills because I was a cinematographer and photographer.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell from the equipment at your place. Your equipment is top notch.
Exactly.
I'm walking around with one DJI camera, and you got like a whole setup.
And I started that when I was like 18 years old. So by the time I was like 27, I had a whole agency. We had employees. The employees were doing most of the camera work. I was hands off at that point. So I was like, man, I gotta practice my camera skills. So I would come home and I was like, well, I like cooking, and why don't I just like record myself cooking and just really get the best quality, videos.
So you started out the gate with high quality videos.
Exactly.
As opposed to, I mean, most people, I feel like they use their phones and then they upgrade from there.
But
since you had the setup.
I had the setup. And I grew the setup slowly. So if you look at my initial videos on TikTok to like what it is now, it's like completely different, Because you got to improve, especially on social media. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over.
So how long did it take for you to start like blowing up?
So it was TikTok. It was 2021. It was towards the end of the year. I was at it for 1 month, and then I couldn't really make anything happen. And I was, going from like professional camera to phone camera, and I was testing different things out. And one day a video went viral, and I was just like, oh crap, I gotta stick into this. So I was four weeks in, and then like the videos weren't going viral anymore, and I was like, all right, I don't think this is for me. And I was this close to saying, screw it. I'm done.
Why did you have the agency? Like, why did you have the interest
Yeah.
before you were really into videos? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
so here's the funny thing. My friend had a social media page. It was like a workout page he had. He had like 150,000 followers, and this was back in 2012 or 13, something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
And at that time, you know, he got together with me because, you know, he knew my skills with like, you know, websites and photography, cinematography. And so I started making like real content, like real like fitness content at that time, you know, with him for that social media page. And then we got to a point where we were like, we should sell a product because we have this many followers.
Right.
And at that time, there was this fad going on where it was like fitness tea, like drinking
Fitness
tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing like fitness influencers just put protein in anything nowadays.
Exactly.
It's like protein boba, like.
But back then it was like detox tea, sleeping tea, fat loss tea, it was all those things.
Okay.
We looked into the China market at like Alibaba that time. And then we were like, okay, we can just buy tea from there
Yeah.
and sell it here. So we were buying tea
Okay.
for like
So you're-
$5, selling
Yeah.
it for like 50. And the first month
Damn.
we made a killing and we were like, whoa, this is crazy. You can do this online. And then from there, the tea fad died out very quickly. It was in and out.
But you made a killing over a short period of time.
Very short period of time, we made a killing. And then what we saw was like, there was a company called Shreds, and that company, they did fitness supplements. We were like, okay, we need to get to that level. So then we found like other fitness influencers, and we created like a whole fitness business around it.
Okay.
And that business was called Shed Fat, and then later it was called Heat Extreme. And we worked with like fitness influencers, and we said, hey, listen, you have the influence, we have the backing. We
Right.
know how to create content and all that stuff and create products. And so we got with them, we did like a 50-50 split. We created their content, we created their products as well.
Wait, so these guys already were creating their own content,
Yeah.
but you're making the content specifically for the products.
Products, yeah.
Okay. And then so beyond like the tea, did you have to come up with ideas for products for each of these influencers? Like how many did you have under your belt? at the
Yeah,
time?
so at that time we only had 2. We just looked at the trending products and we told them, we said, hey, this is a trending product and we're just gonna source the product, make the bottles, do the labels, like we did everything from A to Z.
Wow. So for like trending products, I mean, I assume a lot of them are fads. What is usually the shelf life for product? You know what I mean? Like
Supplements are easy because they're like 2 to 3 years.
not necessarily the expiration date. Like how long is a fad in style?
So at that time, we picked supplements that were like evergreen, but it's just gonna trend no matter what.
Right.
So for example, like at that time we had this one product, it was called Shed Fat, and it was basically like this pill that just helps you burn more calories.
Right.
Through exercise.
I imagine there's a lot of legal requirements for that stuff, right?
So you'd be surprised how much you can get away with in America.
Right. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, let's finish this.
Yeah, I'll just finish it up with this. The reason why we're ahead of the curve is because right now what happens is companies get created and then they give that product to an influencer to push it. What we did was we let the influencer be the brand. For example, with me, instead of me with the Thai chili honey, instead of me going to some other well-established brand and saying, you can put my name on one of your products, it's like, no, I'll create the brand myself, I'll be the brand myself, and I'll sell it myself. And that way you keep a lot more profit.
So it's kind of like a print on demand, but for all products.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, let's eat
Let's
this
go.
food. Sabai Sabai Simply Thai in Germantown, Maryland. The Sabai Sabai wings looks pretty nice. That fish sauce is really strong. A little too powerful.
You think so? I think it's just right.
The amount of fish sauce on there?
I think so. This is what I kind of envision. I like a kick of flavor.
I've had the food that you cook.
Are you done with the wing?
That's what I do, man. This is what I do, man. Already crushed it. I'm about to do a second one. Yeah, no, there's a lot of fish
But
sauce.
you see that garlic and the chili and the spices there?
Yeah, I like the garlic flavor, but
Oh my god.
I think it needs rice.
I agree, yeah.
Like without the rice, it's like you can't eat 6 of these.
Okay.
Then
I definitely can.
we're talking about the kind of content that you made. You focused on the Thai chili pepper, but was it just, okay, I'm just gonna incorporate this pepper into everything, or was it like I'm gonna stick to a certain region of food?
I initially wanted to do like fusion foods, but then like always find a way to tie in the Thai chili, pepper.
Okay. I like fusion. Like fusion is getting demonized today.
The way I feel about it is just like, no, at the end of the day, it's just food. It's people's preference. It's just eat the damn food. Take out the politics.
Exactly.
I love when they add this in there.
Yeah.
The fried basil leaves.
What was the first video that took off?
The first one that popped off was just me making a turkey sandwich, but like my way, with a lot of flavors and things like that. And the reason why I went viral was because the audio for it.
Wait, was it during Thanksgiving?
No.
Turkey. I just...
It was like this background audio of this lady in a call, and I just kind of used that, and it was just like I used her audio while I was just making the sandwich. So that went viral
This
there.
is early TikTok days.
Really TikTok. But the first culinary-wise video that actually went viral for like the culinary was blackberry wings.
Blackberry wings. Wow.
Yeah.
Was it fire?
It was so good.
It's better than what you made me?
It's a different type.
I gotta try those. How am I finding out about this now? I've never had that before either. Tell me what you'd go on these wings. The blackberry wings would probably destroy these.
Because again, the crispiness factor is there, but this doesn't have the crispiness factor. I just want to preface one thing. When they first opened, I was one of their first customers. This was back like almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
I've been coming here since in my college days. This is like home away from home for me.
Okay.
It's gonna be biased. Okay, it's gonna be biased.
Okay.
For me, these wings like a solid 9.5.
Okay.
A solid 9.5.
That is like the best score I've ever given.
But I told you, I'm gonna be biased. I know initially you didn't like too much of that fish
It's
sauce.
a little too strong.
But for me, I like that punchiness, man.
I mean, they do a good job cutting it or balancing it with the garlic.
Yeah.
For me, this is like a 7-9.
7.9.
Probably like a 7-9. Next, we got the crispy string beans.
I don't know if it's still crispy because it's been sitting here. They did put some holes in the tray.
I
But
appreciate the attention to detail.
so this is actually not an appetizer. This is an actual like entree meal, and you're supposed to have it with rice and whatnot. I treat it as an appetizer anytime I come here.
This is fire.
Yeah.
Wow. Got a little spicy, crispy on the outside, like breaded nicely on the
Bread
outside.
perfectly. Yep.
Ooh, I feel like that's what I always look for, is like the spices lingering. Like I can tell that for the rest of the experience, it'll just be lingering.
Yep. Here's the thing though, when you placed your order, she didn't ask you what spice level.
She probably just assumed
She did. She's
based on what we look like.
Exactly. She's like,
She's like,
no.
I know exactly what I'm giving these guys. When's your first brand deal coming? At what follower count would you say they started coming in heavy?
Like 100,000. The brand deals came in, but at that time the brand deals were, it wasn't as much, but it still came in.
Right. What was the first brand deal?
I think it was a seasoning company. I don't remember the exact one, but it was a seasoning company. And I think the reason why they kind of chose me, even though I had only 100,000 followers, because there were people that had a lot more, is because the quality of my content. And I think they were looking for something a little bit more high res since everyone was doing like off the phone. So that kind of helped out a little.
Do you feel like the quality content stuff is kind of falling off a little bit now?
Everyone is a content creator now.
Yeah.
Everyone has an iPhone. So now it just comes down to creativity.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you have questions about Flavor Hive truck.
It's coming, yeah.
And I'll explain why I purposefully used an iPhone for all the content on there.
Okay.
We'll get to that soon.
Your first brand deal was the seasoning, and you're a food content creator, so it makes sense. I see that you get some brand deals from like tech companies.
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
I think you might have done Meta. Like, when did that start happening?
So that started happening 2 years in. I would say one year in.
Okay.
Prior to that, Yahoo picked me up and they had me do a whole cooking show, 8 episodes.
Wow.
They flew me out to New York. There was a big studio there. This was my first time being on like a real camera. And I remember getting on set. I had my own green room.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then I had a makeup artist. The lady came. She did. I don't even know why she did the makeup.
Yeah, makeup for a whole day.
Yeah, they touch up stuff. It was crazy. And like I just remember like being on set and like having 30 people looking at you at the same time. I'm
Are you nervous? Because you can't take it back. Because
Yeah.
the content is in the hands of someone else.
Exactly. The director was cool. Like, he was directing me properly. Like, hey, say this again, say it like that. You know, that was a very, very cool experience. The best experience was the TikTok brand deal that I did.
What was that?
So TikTok flew me out to California, and I was on their commercial. It was a nationwide commercial. Just a little bit. I was also on billboards and things like that
Billboards in Manhattan?
in California. Yeah.
California?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Were you happy with the photos?
It wasn't a photo. It was a video. So it was a commercial, and then they took the commercial.
That's crazy.
And then they played it on the big billboards. And the way I found it on the billboard is, so I shot the commercial, and I went back to California 3 months later, and I was staying at a hotel in Hollywood. Opened my window. And in Hollywood, you see all the... Yeah, and literally there's this huge billboard, and I'm just staring at it, and then boom, I pop up. And I'm like, whoa,
Crazy.
this is crazy.
That is crazy. What?
Now, here's the thing I didn't know, and I know why people love the Hollywood industry, is because I thought I was just getting paid just to do the commercial. But then I remember 3 weeks down the line, these checks started coming in. And I was like, I think they're messing up.
Wait, you said 3 years down the
No,
line?
3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 weeks down the
These
line.
checks started coming in. Why am I getting paid more checks? Like
The deal's
like,
over, yeah.
Yeah, it's like different amounts coming in. So then I called the lady and because I'm like, I don't want to have to give this money back, you know. And the lady's like, no. Every time the commercial airs on anything, whether it's a newspaper, billboard, every single time it airs, you get paid.
So how long did that go on for?
4 months.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. And then that's when I realized why a lot of people like to get into Hollywood and try to hit these commercials. It's
Yeah, that's why. So you
by
get
law.
recurring revenue.
Yeah, and it's by law. It's not something they make up. By law, anytime your face shows up, you get paid.
Damn.
Face or voice.
I'm ready to rate these string beans. And this for you, I assume, is like 10 out of 10.
This is, it is, man. I haven't had something like this anywhere else.
Yeah. I'm going 9-2 on these.
Okay.
These are some great string. I'm taking my parents here. That's how you know. My parents are also equally as picky as me. My mom more so than my dad.
I met your parents at my truck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking care of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They said you gave them a little extra.
Yeah. Your dad was like, man, this is so good. This is so good. Because they were
It's so
eating
good.
it.
Dude, it's so good. 9-2 on this. Now we got the crispy shrimp.
So it's not as crispy anymore, but you'll taste it.
Let's do it. They're pretty good. Pretty decent size. I see where you're going with this, but I feel like they do a lot of the same sauce with everything.
Now this would taste slightly different if it was like when
Fresh,
you get it
fresh.
fresh,
Yeah.
because the flour right now has absorbed a lot of the flavors, and flour also adds to the taste once it gets soggy.
I'm already going for a second.
So I was gonna ask you, team tail or no?
Do I eat it?
Yeah.
No, dude.
Come on,
I
that's the
don't.
best part.
I don't eat it, bro. Yeah, team not tail. You're pretty successful on social media. You've had numerous brand deals, some brand deals that are just paying you over long periods of time. But at some point, you were thinking, I gotta release some products.
Yep.
Is it because you thought that relying on views isn't a sustainable business model for content creators? Or
It goes back to the practices that I did with the fitness influencers, where
Okay.
I had them come out with their own product instead of relying on another brand. The brand will drop you like this. That's when I was like, hey, I have this, I made this hot honey. Let me try to mass produce it and get it out. I love sauces. I have some few formulations for sauces. Let me get those out. And to me, that was like the next move.
what was the first sauce? Did you do the hot honey
I
first?
did
or-
the hot honey first, yep. And then I did a...
Why? I assume you did a lot of diligence because I was looking into sauces and I was like, all right, well, I can do a seasoning because it won't. You don't need to refrigerate it, longer shelf life. Like you landed on honey, and I know you did the research. So
Yeah, Thai chili honey is one of the first things that I felt like was like a breakthrough for me. And then the second reason is because hot honey is like, it's still on a trend right now. Mike's honey did a good job bringing it out. But where my honey differs is,
it's way hotter.
it's way hotter and the type of peppers we use is different. But the main thing is we still use unfiltered raw honey, where Mike's is kind of went to the industry.
I feel like a lot of overzealous content creators or entrepreneurs, they have all these ideas and they want to like expand, do more stuff, right?
Right.
At what point after you launched the honey, you were like, all right, time to do second sauce? Or you're like a slow growth, like perfect one thing at a time thing?
Yeah.
Or did you have the other sauces kind of planned out after the first launch?
The only reason I did a second sauce was to, in the marketing terms, we call get your AOV up, which is average order value.
Okay.
So someone comes in for the sauces and they're paying me, $20 to $25, but I want them to walk out paying me like $50. How do I do that? Well, I can have them buy more honey, or I come out with another side product where it's like, they're getting that as well. It's similar to like when you go to a grocery store and right before you check out, you see the candies.
Yeah,
in the
impulse buys.
Exactly. So that was the whole reason behind that.
So the sales were pretty good initially, or was it like, the way I like to think about it is like an artist with a song, right? You can release one song, but you truly get discovered after you have like a whole album, a bunch of
Correct.
different songs. They could look at your portfolio and you're officially like
Yeah.
you're the real deal. Was there like a certain number of products that you hit where it was like, all right, this guy really sells this stuff now? It's
Yeah.
not a one-off thing?
Yeah, and then so another reason too was like kind of have a variety, because honey is, people don't yet see it as a condiment.
Uh-huh.
It was like, okay, let me bring out another sauce where I can hook someone with that sauce and then cross sell the honey. So it's just to bring in more diversity.
How long was like the formulation process for like?
The honey formulation was the longest, man. Took me about 6 months.
Okay.
Finding-
That's actually quicker than I thought. I've heard some people say like years. 2 years.
Yeah, the people who took years, they're like, my philosophy is start somewhere and then improve. You gotta have a starting point. So I actually had a starting, so I actually have 2 honeys, one mild and one spicy.
Okay.
But the reason why I have 2 is because I started with one and I released that and then people were like, no, we need something spicier. And then that's when I came out with the second version. But coming out with the second version, it wasn't just like increasing the spice level.
Yeah.
Because it would just burn your stomach. It was more about changing up the chili that's in there.
I remember you telling me that you needed to like test it on food because the honey would taste different once it's on food.
Yeah, as soon as it touches food, the spice level just shoots way down.
Yeah, well, when I put on my finger, it's like really
Yeah, it's
high.
really high.
But it's great. It's definitely my favorite honey. And he didn't even pay me to say that. What are you thinking?
For me, these are going to be a high 8, so like an 8.4. The reason why it's not at that 9 is because, you know, that crisp factor went away.
So if it was crisp, it would be a 9?
Yeah, it would be in the 9. If we just had this at first, you know, that punchy flavor, I love. You see all that garlic, I love
There's
it.
a lot of garlic in here. You're a big garlic guy. 8.6 on the shrimp.
Now we got the Drunken Noodles with shrimp.
You love shrimp too, right?
I love shrimp, yeah.
This is my my sister-in-law's favorite thing to eat.
Oh, really?
Noodles.
Okay.
Yeah. She's Egyptian.
Oh, she's Egyptian.
Yeah.
My business partner is Egyptian.
Really?
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Amjad.
Amjad, yeah.
She wanna beef. What do you mean chicken and gyro? She eat or you eat?
He's a character. Like, does he have social media experience?
He doesn't. No.
He doesn't?
Not at all.
I mean, he looks pretty well trained. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like into it. I see him in the videos.
I don't know, man. You see? Dash.
Yeah.
It's actually a lighter flavor.
is.
It's very light for drunken noodles.
I think you feel like it's light because we've had heavy
Yeah.
heavy hitters over here.
My mouth is numb. The noodles do taste fresh though.
Yeah, it has a nice bounce to it.
When they don't stick too much,
Yeah.
I feel like they're shows that it's fresh.
I love the addition of the basil and the tomato. It's key for this one.
Basil and garlic, man. Basil and garlic. The tomato adds a little bit of a refreshing. There we go.
Take a bite of a shrimp.
Content creation business did well. Brand deals did well. Products did well. Why'd you keep on moving forward? Now you got the most viral food experience.
Yeah.
Probably DMV area, maybe even,
It's actually
East
national-
Coast.
nationally.
Nationally?
Yeah.
Why did you do Flavor Hive?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Like, give me the whole thing, man.
And this is very interesting because one day I was at a food festival and I was just, selling my sauces. And in this food festival had a lot of food trucks. And there was a food truck to the left of me, and it was Amjad's food truck, who's my business partner.
Oh, competition at the time.
And his food truck, he was just selling like Philly cheesesteak stuff. And he just watched me all weekend selling these sauces, slinging these sauces left and right. And the line that I had at my table. And then at the end of the show, he came up to me and he said, you know, we should do something together. You know, you're in the food space and you know I'm also in the food space, so let's try to do something together. At that same time he told me, he said, listen, to be honest, I don't even know how to make an egg. He's like, I don't know how to make an egg, but I know operations and I know business.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, partnerships are always difficult, right?
It is.
Like, what qualities were you looking for in a partner?
So I told him, I said, listen, where I'm not good at is commercial kitchen, and I'm not good with, you know, operating anything that has to do with a restaurant. you
Right.
know? And he looked at me, he said, listen, that part I know. What I don't know is the recipes and marketing. I said, okay. He took down my number, and the following week we met. Once we met, he showed me his fleet of food trucks.
Oh, he owns a bunch.
He owns a bunch.
They all had different foods in them?
Foods in them, yeah.
Wow. So
And-
he has a bunch of partners.
Yeah. But
Okay.
the story gets interesting.
Okay.
So then he shows me a food truck and he says, look at, you see that food truck over there? He's like, I'm 100% owner in that one. Why don't we go 50-50 and do something with that? And I said, okay, let's do it. He told me the price. I wrote him a check, and from there I started developing the recipes for it. The white sauces, all the sauces we make in house, the seasoning we make in house. I started developing all those. And
How'd you determine a cuisine?
So he basically, like that, he left to me.
Right.
He
okay.
says, listen, you know, pick up to 5 things because it's a food truck. You can't do like
Right.
10.
Well,
It's
because
like-
Flavor Hive is like a fusion type.
yeah, it's a
food,
fusion
right?
type. Yeah, and
How
that's
would you
what-
describe it? What is it?
It's straight fusion. I would say fusion fun type of foods.
Okay. Fusion Fun. Look up Fusion Fun on Yelp. You might see them.
We launched in late February. Our first viral video was quesadilla. I remember the lines for it was
What about the video do you think?
the way it looked.
It was just a lot of cheese.
Cheese, thick. Again, the way that I do video and marketing is completely different from what these other restaurants do. The issue with restaurants, and if you're a restaurant and you're watching, I'm going to give you the biggest tip.
Free game right here.
The first thing you want to do is fire your social media manager.
Because half the time they're just like
just
random
doing
college
whatever.
kids that are just like, hey, like,
I
use
know
Instagram.
this and I know that. They don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second thing you want to do is fire your photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
And the third thing you want to do is learn content creation.
Yeah. They gotta invest the time into it.
You
right?
have to. Now, you can find a content creator who can do it, because a lot of times instead of hiring a social media manager, what you want to do is hire a content creator. But then you got to spend a good amount of money on that content creator. So, because a content creator is, if they're really good, they do it for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just all what it is.
Yeah,
so,
it's true.
So now it's like you got to pay them to kind of stop doing what they're doing and focus on your brand. And there are content creators that can do that. You know, I worked with one, Al Hussein, who did a review on my Flavor Hive truck. He does that. He's a content creator himself. He has over 1 million followers. But then he helps restaurants do that, and the restaurants give him the power to create content from scratch.
Wow.
And that's what restaurants need to do. Either you become a content creator or you hire a content creator. But it's going to be expensive because, again, they're already doing their own thing. They're already getting brand deals.
What would you say the rates are for those?
I mean,
I know what range is, but just give me like a. I assume it's like $300 for a post, and it goes up to like.
No. I'm saying that you got to hire them for a couple of months.
Oh, okay.
For the long term, so you got to pay them like $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and they'll figure out ways
crank
to
out content. For you.
content for you. In this space, your brand has to embody social media, and there's ways to do that. And only content creators know how to do that. But yeah, so those videos went viral, and then we went viral again for our rice bowl, and then we went viral for the bag of chips. So
Yeah. Do you call it the walking taco? Because that's what everyone says.
the concept of walking taco has been around. Taco
Right.
Bell was probably the first one to do it with Doritos. They had this, their own walking taco bags. But what Flavor Hive does is bring your own bag. So that whole concept of bringing your own bag, that's something we created. That's something new. Because previously a walking taco is just nachos and with toppings on top in a bag. It has to be like tortilla chips. But we did the concept of like, no, you bring your own bag. We cut open that bag.
Anything. You guys be
Anything.
putting meat on pizzas. Now.
Yeah.
I've been seeing like salad. I saw salad bags. I was like, all right, that makes sense. I saw people showing up with just a pizza box. I was like, all right, bro, this is getting out of hand, dude. What if they show up with just like a freaking like a trash can, dude? Are you gonna fill it up with meat? I remember when I showed up, it was like I brought a big Doritos bag, the purple bag, which is the best. And you weren't even there. They didn't even know who I was, and they loaded that up. That's why I showed up unannounced, just to see what the real portions are. And it was fire. I think I went like 9.2 on that bag.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
on
did.
Tammy designed that bag though.
Yeah. She did. Yeah.
So like I'm thinking about going back there and trying to up the score with like some better flavors and just mixing it up. You know what I mean?
Your dad came, and I forgot which bag he had, but he just like while I was talking to him, like he wouldn't stop eating. He was just
Yeah.
and he was like,
Dude,
man, this is. He kept saying, "He's like, man, this is so good, so good."
the flavors are just it's a whole experience.
And I'll tell you why though, real quick. I would say 95% of food trucks in the DMV, they just regurgitate Restaurant Depot. They buy stuff from Restaurant Depot and then they just sell that.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that are doing our own thing, So,
Right.
And people taste that difference and then automatically they're like, oh, this is so
Yeah,
good.
it's really good. I mean, this is as good as the other stuff. Yeah, I was gonna go 8-0.
8-0? Okay.
8-0. I've just had a lot of Drunken Noodles in my life. My parents had a Thai restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had a Thai restaurant. It was actually in
So you giving these scores is actually pretty good.
Yeah. I've done a lot of Thai reviews too, so I'm very critical of Thai food.
Okay.
8 flat on this. The last dish, and his favorite dish.
Now this one you do kind of have to eat it with the rice. Hold on, you forgot to get this part. This is their eggplant. You gotta have it with that.
I love fried eggplant.
Yeah. And then the other thing you have to get is these are the peppercorn. They use raw peppercorns.
This is the peppercorn he was talking about. Kind of looks like a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, this is the only place that uses like raw peppercorns instead of like, taking it off. They just use the actual peppercorn.
So is this usually supposed to be crispy?
If you get it fresh, it's a little crispy.
It does taste fresh though. I don't think I've had catfish. Wait, I gotta ask you about, and I'm sure you get asked this a lot.
Okay.
Tell me about the day that Keith Lee showed up.
Okay.
Did you know, did people start rolling in? Were people following his car and they knew that, he was pulling up? Or, because you were busy as hell that day.
So prior to Keith Lee coming, we were, mega viral in our area. I'm talking about we had video views that were, somewhere getting 25 million, 50 million. We were mega viral.
Yeah, the Flavor Hive Instagram, page is overtaking,
Yeah.
I think your own personal page.
My own personal page, yeah.
That's crazy.
So we were, mega viral that time. And the reason why we came up on Keith Lee's radar is because we're so mega viral. So when they were like, okay, where are we gonna go in DC? We were the first ones to pop up just because we were so viral.
Did you do like a video saying like, hey, come? Or all right, good.
And so when he announced he's coming, in my head I was just like, man, is he gonna visit? Is he not? But in my head I was just like, he usually goes to struggling places. I was like, we're not really struggling.
Business is booming. Like I wouldn't even be worried about it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But then I had this internal feeling that he might come. The way it works with Keith Lee is it's more than coming unannounced. It's like they parked their big old car like far away from eyesight from the restaurant, number one. Secondly, it's the employee/family members that get the food.
Okay.
That, stand in line and stuff like that.
Right.
And so that day he came, we already had a long line. So they stood in line for about 30 minutes, as he stated in his video. So they got the bag of chips.
But the 30-minute wait, is that a regular occurrence or was that a Keith Lee effect type thing?
No. This was before the Keith Lee effect. So this was a regular occurrence on our end.
Okay, yeah. So 30 minutes is standard wait at that time of day?
And not at that time, because this is when our bag of chips was starting to go viral.
Right, it was just, it was new.
Yeah, that's why we had these long lines. So Keith Lee comes, his family comes, gets the bag of chips. The reason why we were blown was because the whole bag of chips initially, like full transparency here, it was mainly a marketing gimmick for the Flavor Hive. You know? It was to bring in the kids, bring in something fun.
But it's still good.
It's still good though. But it was a really strong marketing gimmick. And he didn't get to taste our main items because of that. Because he assumed that this was our concept. Right. He assumed this is all we had. So he didn't get to taste the main stuff. So we went viral for two things, which was the quesadilla and the rice bowl. He didn't get to taste any of that. Right. You had the quesadilla. You
I like the quesadilla.
It.
I think I went like 8, 6 on that.
You went pretty high on that.
Yeah.
So that's why we were kind of blown about it. The Flavor Hive community came out and they were also blown. They were calling Keith Lee a lot of slanderous names.
I mean, he didn't deserve that.
He didn't deserve it.
But I'm also very confused at the 3.
In my opinion, this is a 3 out of 10.
I mean, he was like, the meat's cold. This is a 3 out of 10.
No. So the cold meat, he gave it a 7.9.
Oh.
Just imagine if it wasn't cold. Now the reason why it was cold was because if you look at the Chipotle style, where they have the where they scoop the meat, right? You're supposed to scoop the meat from the bottom. Okay. Right, but our employee at that time, he kept scooping the meat from the top. Right. So that itself, it's not cold, but it's going to be cooler on top until you rotate the meat.
But I mean, like if you have like a line of people, it's constantly being
if you have
refreshed, right?
Yeah. The only issue is like not a lot of people were getting gyro. Majority of the people were getting beef and chicken.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So the gyro wasn't being rotated, and even now, like gyro is like the least ordered meat that we have.
Wow. I like the gyro. Gyro.
Yeah.
Gyro. Yeah. I don't know.
Number 2 is like we put cold toppings on it, so like
Yeah, it makes it more cold.
And then the sauce makes it more cold. And then from them taking the bag, walking it all the way to their destination. Yeah. And then him getting the camera ready. So by that time, it is gonna cool down a lot, especially when that white sauce hits it. Right. Because the white sauce, it's yogurt based, so we keep it in the fridge. But he gave it a 7.9. So imagine if he.
Oh, okay. I thought he gave like a 3.
So he gave the chicken a 3 something, 3.6 or 3.7.
Because I remember when I saw that, I was like, all right, now I gotta try it. Yeah. It's like it's super viral. Like a 3 on my scale is like 7-Eleven food. Yeah. You know what I mean? On his scale, I know he uses like 1 through 5 more, but for me, that's like I was like, dude, that is so disrespectful. That is crazy.
But hey, listen, Keith Lee, he did a wonderful thing for us. He does a wonderful thing for the community. Yeah. Even with that score, he brought additional 30% more people out to us. Wow. That following week.
Wow. I'm happy to hear that there's some legitimacy in like the coldness. Like hearing the story, finding out about the car being far away. You put all the cold toppings on top. Yeah. The vegetables are also very cold.
Very cold, yeah. Because we use fresh vegetables,
So going back to like the content creation, like you said before, everybody is a content creator nowadays. A lot of people, they go into it with the intention of being full-time. You've obviously leveraged your platform to build multiple businesses. Right. Would you say for new content creators, it would make more sense to have the business in mind prior to making the content, or create the content and allow the business to kind of grow from the ground from there?
Yeah, so with content creation, the first thing I tell people is like, number 1, just jump right into it. because you will figure yourself out as you go. Again, if you see my first day video versus my videos today, total opposite, 180.
Right.
You'll figure it out as you go. You have to give yourself 3 months, and you have to be willing to see less than 100 views per video for 3 months straight.
Right.
You have to be willing to do that, and you have to be willing to be consistent within the 3 months.
And critique yourself a lot, right?
You have to.
I see some people do these like, I mean, I did the daily challenge, but I was rewatching my videos over and over again and reading the comments to improve each one.
Yep.
So if you're not improving, then you're just wasting time.
You are. And content creation is a ongoing thing, so it's gonna change as you go. The reason why for Flavor Hive Truck, if you look at our Instagram and our TikTok for Flavor Hive Truck, I use just the iPhone only. And that's really to prove to every single restaurant to, number one, fire your videographer, photographer.
Yeah.
But really to say, hey, listen, you don't need this glamorous camera. You don't need this college a person who did marketing and has a graduate degree in marketing. No, you just need an idea and just a camera, and you just keep building on top of there. You can do it all by yourself as long as you have the drive to create content.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that, because that's kind of why the Wing channel is designed the way it is. Like, I mean, I don't add any filters, I don't add any effects. It's just cutting up clips and adding captions.
Right.
And the captions are very minimal, right? I have another channel where I rate Costco items, and that one's a highly edited, like, there's a lot of effects going on. I have a great video editor. That one's built for brands, but I have the Wing channel designed in a very simple way to kind of inspire people to get into content a little bit. Do you have like one piece of advice that you'd want to give to future business owners or future content creators?
Yeah, like, listen, guys.
Besides, you know, firing.
There are going to be periods of time where you're going to feel like, man, everything feels stagnant. You're not probably getting the views that you want, or your income isn't there like the way you would want it. And during slow periods, it's the best time to start testing and innovating. The whole reason this chip bag came to a rise in Flavor Hive was because I remember it was a slow weekend, and I was like, man, I gotta get more people out here. What can I do? And I could have just sat down and could have been like, oh, it's just a slow weekend, I'll wait till next weekend. It's
Proactive.
just like,
yeah,
you have to be proactive. You have to be willing to constantly be in the change. The companies and the individuals that you see that are constantly in the change, they thrive. For example, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, when they first started, they were creating like doing little dance Disney videos.
Yeah.
Then they had their own pranks on YouTube. Now look what they're doing. So you really have to see the progression. It's not even progression. It's just literally like periods of time, right? And each time is different. They're doing something different. And that's to really keep the viewers not only going, but they're also challenging themselves. You have to do that. And there are going to be times where I told you I almost gave up. Like 4 weeks into TikTok, I was like, I think I'm done. That's it. But if I did give up, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Persistence and evolving. Now that I know that Flavor Hive was slow for a point, I'm just like, wow, you guys are even cooler now. You know what I mean? Because I initially just thought that you had a big following and then you guys just took off from the get-go. But the fact that you had to fight through that kind of hardship is...
Yeah,
that's dope.
And Flavor Hive have been, we got shut down at one point for 25 days.
Your hours are weird, bro.
Yeah, we got shut down after Keith Lee came, because he added 30% more people to our truck. After that weekend, I'm talking about the health department, the fire department, the county engineers. They all busted into Flavor Hive.
What?
And truthfully speaking, like, they didn't get us on any health code because we're not cooking inside of our commercial kitchen. We cook inside the truck, and the trucks, they pass all health certificates. But they got us on technicalities like code violations within the inside of our commercial kitchen. Like, for example, like the kitchen has to face to the left, not to the right.
Dude, and that is so petty.
We got to get more vents over here, and they got us on like real petty stuff.
That's kind of like that saying where it's like if you follow a car long enough, then they're gonna break the law.
The health department and the fire marshal, they came out there like, hey, listen, there's these restaurants that are constantly complaining about you guys, and we know which restaurants they are. They're the ones that are in the front,
right?
And so we're out here just to because we have to man their complaints. We spent 25 days renovating the commercial kitchen. After we passed everything, the fire marshal, he said, listen, if anybody makes a complaint about you guys, I'm just going to completely ignore it because I walked the place myself.
Yeah.
And we spent around $70,000 to renovate.
Damn, what?
Kitchen. Yeah.
Well, the commercial kitchen within the truck.
It's actually in the building, and our trucks are outside of the building.
Okay. Yeah, you guys got 3 trucks. So you actually have a lot of real estate, dude. The way that's set up is pretty wild.
Yeah. And now we open after 6 because, Monday through Friday we open after 6 because the people in that same building, the business owners in that building, they were complaining to the landlord about our customers taking all the parking spots and when we're open during the daytime. Because you came during the daytime, you ate in the parking lot. Yeah. So then the landlord was like, okay, you guys have to open after business hours.
I mean, now it's a party though. It actually helps with the vibe. I feel like the videos kind of look cooler because they're all at night. You see a lot of people posted up. That's sick, man. All right, so now we got to rate this.
Okay.
This is your favorite, so I'm assuming.
This is my favorite. This is a straight 10 for me. I haven't had this type of flavor in any other Thai places.
Go 8 flat.
8 flat? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, maybe it's just, I don't like catfish that much.
Maybe.
You know, maybe just, it's a derogatory term, so I just can't enjoy it. I'd say overall, this place is like a 8.6.
I'll give you my top 5 of DMV and you can give me your top 5.
In terms of just food places?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is in no random order and then not Flavor Hive included.
I'll throw a Flavor Hive in there.
For me, it's Sabai Sabai goes in there. Z&Z Bakery, have you been there?
No, but someone did tell me about that.
I gotta take you there, man.
Really? Okay.
I gotta take you there.
We'll do it.
Z&Z Bakery. Then you have Taco Bamba. I know
Taco Bamba?
They're a chain now. You have to get specific tacos that they only have their butter chicken taco. And they have these other specific ones. Trust me on that.
Okay.
They're good. Shamshiri. Have you been to Shamshiri?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, gotta take you to Shamshiri. And then lastly, it's a place called it's in DC, and I can't believe I'm blanking the name, but it's an Asian place that does ramen and they also do fried chicken.
Ramen fried chicken.
I'm blanking on this spot, but those are like my 5 go-to places in DMV. What about you?
But they're not all like restaurants.
They're all restaurants, yeah.
But I mean, like not full, not knocking Flavor Hive, but it's not like a restaurant. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I got you. Yeah. They're not.
Okay, because mine would go like Ekiben, which is like not dining. Astoria in DC, it's like Chinese fusion.
Okay, I gotta try that.
I like Shoto, but that's more so because it's vibey. I don't know if you've been there in DC.
Yeah, I know the owner for that.
Hirsch's in Baltimore.
Okay,
that's like
try that.
Yeah, it's in that whole area. And then probably Kochik's. That's my favorite like chicken in DC.
Is pretty good.
I know, man. Kochik's is so good. All right, well that's all the questions I have for you, bro. This is a great time.
It was great food too.
Chilipeppercooks, everyone. Shihan.
Shihan.
All right, thanks for meeting with me, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Appreciate it.